Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm just getting started in this sort of wood carving journey, mainly with my Dremel and different products there. And I just thought, you know what? I need to do something about the bits. For me, the Dremel bits seem to last better than the cheap Chinese versions that I've ordered over the years. And I need to find a way to, A, differentiate them from the Chinese bits so I know what I'm using. But also, I just thought, you know what, it would be good to actually make a note of what the bits are, so what the numbers are for if ever I need to replace them, and things like that, really. So that's what this video is going to be about. Basically making a Dremel stand just to keep the bits in, keep them organised, so that I know where they are when I need them most. So stay tuned and we'll go through the video. So here we go, guys. Just moved into the garage. Just looking for bits of scrap wood, really, if I'm being honest. All I want this bit to be is just a bit holder, if you like, for my engraving pieces and wood carving pieces. So I don't want to spend a fortune. Most of us have bits of scrap wood lying around, which I'm sure is going to fulfill the purpose. So yeah, here we go. Let's have a look at some of the woods that I've found, and I think will work for this project. Don't get me wrong, this isn't going to be the best way to do it. I'm very limited on what tools I've actually got. I've got a chop saw and I've pretty much got the Dremel. So we'll go through this. I'll look through some scraps of wood and see what we can do. Scraps of wood, which I think will work. Again, it's probably not the best way to do it, but I am limited by the tools that I've got. And I'm one of those that just wants to use it best. So the first thing I'm going to do is just measure out probably 10 inches, to be honest with you. I think 10 inches will be enough. It'll give me, I think, 10 individual compartments for each layer. So I'm just going to mark those up now, and then we'll get onto the chop saw, cut those pieces out, and then go from there. All right, so here we go. I think for me 10 inches should be about right, so just going to measure those off now and get ready to cut. So here we go, just marking them up. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It is just literally something to store my bits in so they don't get lost. So it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. I'm happy if it's close enough, really, to be honest with you. So just marking these 3 little bits of scrap wood that I've got in the garage up to cut now. And all I'm planning to do, really, is probably glue them together and make individual sections for my different bits that I'm going to use for carving. So again, if you like this sort of video, it's only DIY, it's just me and what I'm doing. No expert, but if you like this sort of video, then please subscribe below, and let's get on with the rest of the project. So here we go, guys. Nothing too interesting here. I'm just going to measure out sort of 1 inch sort of gaps on the piece of wood, so that I know roughly how I'm going to sort of keep my bits separate once this is actually done. So literally just using a ruler every inch, so I've got a rough idea. Who knows, once it's done I may even carve this to make it look a bit pretty, but it doesn't need to be, if I'm being honest. So again, most of you would probably use a right angle at this point. I've not got one, so I'm just going to use another piece of wood. As I say, this doesn't have to be pretty. It's just going to be a piece of wood to hold my bits in, so I don't sort of lose my Dremel pieces, and I know which one's which for when I'm going to order them. Don't forget, if you are liking this video, there's going to be lots more similar videos over the coming weeks and months, and hopefully throughout the whole of 2010. So please like and subscribe, and then we will do lots of other projects. And say, I know these lines are off, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just that when I glue it together, I've got a rough idea of where's the different compartments, really, where I'm going to keep the bits. So again, I know it's not perfect, guys. It's not meant to be. It's just a simple project, what I'm doing, because it's something that I think is going to be useful for me. Scrap wood, so again, it's not going to be expensive. If it all goes wrong, it all goes wrong, but we'll see what happens as we go through the video. So again, just measuring it out, just so I've got a rough idea once I've actually glued this block of wood together, where the 1 inches are. Again, I could remeasure it when it's done, but I just think it's going to be simpler to do it this way before I actually glue it together. Using pencil rather than pen as well. If you're just starting out with anything sort of woodworking like I am, I'd always do it in pencil first. It gives you a chance to rub it off if you need to, or sand it off. But again, you will remove parts of wood if you have to sort of sand off pen. So yeah, just marking out the lines. And again, this doesn't have to be precise, guys. It's not going to be a masterpiece. It's just going to be something that sits in my workshop or in my living room, whatever, to just store the Dremel pieces in. So I've got an idea of what's what. And then if ever I need to sort of reorganize them, I know where to get them. So I know it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. And that's the whole thing here. It's just going to be a case of making little lines so I know what 1 inch is. I'm hoping that once I've done it, I'm going to be able to fit at least 4 Dremel bits in each one once I've drilled holes to keep them in, because I'm probably never going to have 4 or more of the same bit anyway. There you go, I've just completely mucked that up with my measurements, but there we go. Good thing is with wood, you can just turn it around and start all over again. But there we go. But no, as I say, I'm new to this. I'm sure most of you guys, if you're watching this video, you probably are new to it as well. Based in the UK. Just for me, I just wanted to get creative and I wanted to share that with people. If this video helps one person think of doing something new, do you know what? It's worth it. So that's it. I'm hoping you'll see as it goes on, each one of these little boxes that I'm doing will have 4 little tiny drill holes in, which will hopefully keep the bits together. And then I've got to think about marking each one in. To be honest with you, I might even just write it on in pen for now, so that I know what bit's what, so that if I do run out or it does go blunt or to the point where I can't use the bit anymore, I know what I'm ordering. So again, just a rough idea where we are. Again, apologies for the shoddy camera work. I've literally just marked those 3 up. I'm going to glue them together, leave them for a bit to dry, and then see where we are at that point. So there we go, guys. That's 3 pieces of wood. I've just literally found these scrap bits in the garage, lined them up so it's roughly an inch. Again, this is a very rough project, so I'm not too bothered about it looking perfect. And then I'm just going to dab some wood glue on, get these glued together, and then drill some holes for the next bit. So there we go. Typical problem. I've got my wood glue, and what have I done? I've left some glue in the nozzle at the top, which has obviously blocked everything. Great for a video. Again, should be more prepared, so apologies about that, guys. But again, you never know, might be a useful tip. All I do when that happens is just literally get a nail, get it in there, and reopen that seal, pull out any dry glue, and we should be as good as new again. So literally just pulling out the excess glue with a nail if you need it, and you'll start to see those little gaps again. So that should now, hopefully, work again. I use Gorilla because it's cheap, and for something like this it doesn't need to be that sturdy. So all I'm going to do now, put some glue on here and on the other bits of wood and glue them together, and then see where we are at that point. So just applying it quite liberally. I mean, for me, if this all goes wrong, it's 3 bits of scrap wood, so it doesn't really matter. So there we go, first one, line it up roughly, press. Again, you professionals out there probably use a clamp. Do you know what? Again, I'm at the start of this journey, so I've not got one. So yeah, just literally putting it in. There's probably going to be a bit of sanding done on this when it's done. And that will be a tight enough seal, I think, for what I want it for. So again, doing exactly the same with the top one. On it goes. Bit of wood glue. And then apply a little bit of pressure. And you know what? I think that should work for what we want. Literally, if you look at the way I've done it, it's not rocket science. I've literally got 3 tiers. As you can see, literally I've got 3 tiers there. The plan is literally each one of these is going to have 4 little holes in for different drill bits, different Dremel bits, sorry. And then basically I'm going to put the number there on the corner so I can remember what it is. I might at a later stage when it's dried or something like that do some little wood carving along there just to make it look a little bit prettier. But for me, do you know what? It works. It's going to be good enough for me. There's going to be 3 tiers. So yeah, I'm going to get on to letting this dry and then we'll drill the holes. Hi guys, so yeah, here we go. I've just literally, whilst waiting for it to dry, just marked out roughly where I want the holes to be for the bits to go in, roughly 4 in each compartment. I've just got this metal scribe pen, which I've actually used for etching before, and I'm just going to indent each one before I actually drill them. Hopefully it will give me a cleaner drill through. just thinking about it logically, there's not an awful lot of room there, but again, I only need them to push in the Dremel bits for probably, what, half an inch, if that. So it should still work. And as I said, it's not going to be a masterpiece. It's just literally somewhere to actually store my Dremel bit. So all I'm going to do is indent all of these like so, just so it's somewhere for my drill bit to actually sit into, so it hopefully doesn't go off too far. And then I'm actually going to use the Dremel tool itself just to drill these holes in and see where we are at that point and see if it works. Who knows, it might not. And then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to finish the rest of this off camera and then we'll drill the holes. Right, so there we go. I'll actually pierce the holes in literally where I'm going to drill. And actually, just for a test, I thought I'd still use the Stilo for this rather than the 4000 and see if it's got enough power. Just using the standard drill bit that's actually come with the Dremel 4000 kit I've just bought. So again, one of the things about Dremels is it's dead simple. You just adjust the chuck, put the piece in, and off you go. What I am going to do is just put a little bit of tape around it so I know exactly how deep I'm going. Hopefully that way I can try and keep it a little bit uniform. So just literally a bit of a sticker, which should hopefully tell me how deep I'm going. I don't think I need to go any deeper than that. So here goes. Turn the speed up. I think because I'm drilling, I'm going to do it on probably a 3 and see how we get on. See, perfect example of why I've had to upgrade. Going into thick wood, it just doesn't have the power. I'll try it on 5, see if we get any better. See, it just doesn't work going into wood. That's the main reason I had to upgrade. So get the Dremel 4000 out and let's see where we go. Right, so just switching things over from the Stilo because the holes just won't go deep enough. As I say, that's been the main problem with this tool, is I just don't think there's enough power in it for wood. So I'm going to swap that across now to the Dremel 4000 and see how we get on. So just open that up. There we go, typical drop things that you need, like the collet, as soon as you undo it. So here we go. I'm just going to take the one off the Stilo for now, because it's probably just as easy to do that than it is to put a new one in. So literally screw on. That's the great thing about the Dremel tools, is most of them are interchangeable with other Dremel tools. So here we go. That's now in. And the lock button should be the same. Beautiful. Put the same drill bit in that I was using on the Stilo. Lock it up as tight as I can. I think really that's as far as it's going to need to go. So let's see how this works now. I think for this it's drilling, so I'm probably going to leave it at around about 20 and see what happens. You can already hear it sounds a lot more powerful. So. Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, straight through, no problems. That's what I was wanting this tool for, really. The Stilo hasn't got the power. This has, so I'm just going to finish that off now. I'll do that off camera so you guys haven't got to watch it all, but it just shows you. You get the tool to the job, it makes the job a lot easier. So I'm just going to finish that off now, go through all the holes and then show you the finished product. Right, so yeah, as I say, with the 4000, that was no problem whatsoever. Drilled straight through, like butter. Now the moment of truth. Will the bits actually fit in it? Let's have a look. Oh, it seems to work. And I just think for me, it'll be an easy way for me to keep notes just by even simply writing the number on the side there of the Dremel piece. And then that way, if they do run out, I know exactly what piece I need to get, but it's also an easier way of me organising them. So going from something like this junk to something quite neat and set up. As I say, I'm not a master by any means, but this is just what I've done with a couple of bits of scrap wood, which I think is going to help keep it organised. Probably going to do a bit in the side there just for the spanner to go as well, so I can keep all my bits together. And in a future video, I dare say there's enough room there for me to try and engrave something nice to make it look a bit prettier. But for now, I think that'll do. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel, and there'll be lots more coming over the following weeks. So there we go, pretty much done, except for any further details I'm going to be putting on it. But I think you'll agree it's pretty much worked. So what I'm going to be doing, as I buy new bits, the Dremel ones, I mean, most of those are just the cheap Chinese diamond bits, which I'm probably going to just use for a bit of sanding, if I'm being honest. But as I get a new pack of the Dremel ones, like this one, 107, which is the circular carbide cutters. Dead simple, just putting the number on the block on both sides so I know exactly what piece they are, and then just putting them in, pretty much. So hopefully you'll agree it's probably a much more organised way of doing things, and it also helps you keep track of what pieces are what for Dremel, so you know exactly what you need when you're going to replace them. I am probably going to end up carving something on there, so I'm not going to do the rest of these right now to just show you, just because I think it'd be better to show you the actual finished product, which I'll probably get done. I'll probably do another video of me actually carving this as well, with some sort of design that I come up with, and then we'll post that over the next few weeks. But for now, thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a like. If you've got any comments, suggestions or ideas on what you'd like to see in sort of future videos, please let me know. I aim to be active on this quite a lot as we build up and hopefully go along this journey over the next year. But apart from that, Happy New Year to everyone, because it is New Year's Day here, and enjoy your carving. Thanks, bye-bye.